Hello there. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about feeding. So it's the 17th of March 2020, and many of you are aware that I built this raised bed and I've stocked it with things like broad beans, spring onions, komatsuna, kale, charred spinach and spring onions, and also some potatoes. So there we go. These things are going to be hungry, they need feeding, so I'm going to show you an approach that I'm taking, one I've used before to good effect, and I'm going to do so again. Okay, now calcified seaweed. So in the raised bed already is some topsoil. Now I've grown things in this before in other areas, in another area, and I moved the topsoil here. So one could say that this topsoil could be a bit depleted of nutrients. So I need to start building up the soil structure. I need to start getting the nutrients in there, because at the end of the day, you know, gardening and a raised bed, whatever, is quite an investment, and you'll be glad that you did put the effort into building the quality of your soil. So calcified seaweed, natural soil and lawn conditioner, rich in minerals. Now, a naturally occurring soil conditioner, calcified seaweed has been harvested and used for generations as a natural soil improver. Now listen to this. This sweetens the soil, and together with the increase in microbial activity leads to better soil structure, which in turn helps plants to develop stronger roots, promoting healthier and more vigorous plant growth. So there we go. You can pause that and have a look at it if you wish. And one great thing also about calcified seaweed is, look at this, long lasting, apply every 3 years, and this was £7 this, and I've got plenty left. The instructions are on there how much to apply, and once every 3 years, you know, that's not that often, is it? So there we go. Liquid seaweed, this is another one. Stimulates vigorous, healthy growth for all plants. So this is a great thing to use. Many of you are aware I've been using this inside on the things like the banana plant and also the coffee plant for the nutrients. So all-purpose source of organic nutrients, bigger crops of tastier fruit and veg, healthier plants, more resilient to disease. There you go, have a read of that, tells you how to use it. Look at that, organic, can be used in a family garden. Okay, so regarding organic and non-organic, it's not my place to tell people which approach to take, whether they want to be organic, non-organic, or a combination of the two. That is indeed up to them, but there's so many different feeds you can use, and have a look around. Tomato feed is a good one, and once again you can buy organic or non-organic, but you know, I've had good results actually in times where, you know, I've been incredibly busy with doing other things, and there's only a certain amount of time that one can devote to a garden or whatever, you know, or an allotment. Tomato feed can be a great thing. Okay, so there we go. So these are all relatively, you know, good prices for how long they last and what you get out of them, and I can say that I've used them before with good effect. So I purchased this a while ago, Maxicot Professional Complete Feed, and once again this is very good. I used this in the later part of last year, and I had some plants that were looking very scraggly, and I applied this a few times, and it really did indeed help. So my fruit section here now, I've fed the strawberries and the blueberries here with the Maxicot Complete Feed, and what I'm going to be doing with the blueberries is applying a liquid feed of ericaceous feed. Okay, now here's a little thing for you with regards to using calcified seaweed. It's not generally advised to use it where you're going to be growing acid loving crops or plants. So if you're going to be growing, you know, blueberries, camellias, rhododendrons, azaleas, you may not do well by adding calcified seaweed, because it helps to neutralise the soil, and these plants require ericaceous, otherwise known as acidic, a pH of about 4.5 to 5.5. okay, so you don't want to be doing that, but yes, so a liquid drench every 2 or 3 weeks or so during the growing season is very beneficial for blueberries to help keep that pH correct, to give you good, vigorous, strong plants and good crops. Okay, and with regards to feeding of the tomatoes, which I'm not talking about, that's another video, but with regards to feeding of strawberries, I'm going to be applying liquid feeds every 2 to 3 weeks just to keep that vigorous strength going. Same again with the fig here, going to be doing that as well. More blueberries, I've just given them the liquid drench of the complete feed, so that'd be very, very good. Right, so when the season really gets rocking and rolling, particularly with things like fruit crops that are really demanding of the nutrients, I'm going to be, watering daily with, just ideally what you want to be using is rainwater. Okay, particularly once again on acid-loving crops, because tap water can help to neutralise the soil. Now, generally fruit crops favour a slightly acidic soil. Okay, so maybe not to the degree, definitely not to the degree of something like blueberries or cranberries, but they do favour slightly, acidic soil, which vegetables can deal with it a little bit more alkaline. So this is why I've been using the calcified seaweed a lot on the vegetable bed. So there we go. So yeah, daily watering. Now this can be quite hard to achieve, particularly if you're growing a fair bit. Like you've seen all the blueberries and strawberries I've got. It can be quite a task, albeit an enjoyable one for many of us. But of course, when one's finished work, you get the idea and all that jazz. But your plants will benefit from it, and it's very likely that your crops will be a lovely, much more juicy sort of size and much better tasting. So that's very much a thing that's worth doing. It's also very stressful for your plants, okay, if you don't water daily, particularly during the growing season. Now this is very interesting. I remember that Brett 84 Lionheart 84 mentioned this about the plants he's got growing in pots, and he said he noticed that they went into dormancy a lot quicker, and he mentioned probably because the water levels in the pots is much harder to control than if the plant is in the ground. So there we go. So there's certainly that to consider. So any comments, questions or whatever, please feel free to post below. Over the next few months I intend to be really working hard on adding more infrastructure to the project, because I need to do that. We may all be getting a bit more time to do things like that coming up, who knows. Yeah, so compost bins, more water butts, really starting to be thinking about going down that road now, back to where I was a few years ago. So yeah, making my own feeds as well. I used to do all sorts, I really did. My own horse manure, a cubic metre of horse manure in order to get it to cook, kill all the weeds in there, things like that. Layers with greens and browns, and carbons and nitrogens in compost and all that. Blimey, I haven't done that for some time, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into it. So there we go. If you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Check me out on Dan_Home Gardens on Instagram if you're interested. See you next time.